Alright guys, for this assignment what we're going to be doing is testing the fitness gram, and this is the California state standards that every student will do in 5th, 7th, and 8th, or in 9th grade. So every 2 years, it's basically just to keep them on track and make sure that they're meeting these standards that everybody in California is required to do. It's really important to test these standards in order to just keep everybody fit and healthy as best as we can, and it's just a great way to gauge kind of where people are at and how we can help them to progress and move forward, or to let them know that they're doing a great job and continue doing what they're doing with their lifestyle. Hey guys, my name's Brock. I'm here with my two helpers, Joel and Maddie, and we're going to be testing out the California state standards fitness test today. So the first one we're going to do is the cardiovascular test. So what we're going to do for that is test our 1 mile run. There's a few different options we could do. We could do the mile run, or another option, which is the pacer, going back and forth between 20 meters. But since they're a little bit older and they're pretty fit, we're going to test the mile today. So I'm going to start a clock, and we're basically going to run a mile loop, and then when you're back, I'll stop it and we'll see you guys time. All right guys, ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! Good job, you guys. All the way through. All the way through. Nice. Good job. 5 minutes on the dot.
Oh my
God. Good job, you guys. Alright guys, for our next test, we're going to be testing the BMI. And basically what we're going to do for that is check the height of the student as well as their weight. And then we can find our BMI with those two numbers. Alright guys, so the first part we're going to check is the weight. So we'll have the student go ahead and step on the scale. As soon as we have the weight, then they can step off and we'll move on to the height. Alright guys, now we're going to check the height. So I'm going to have you step on this ruler for me. Up and height. All right, we got 5'7". So to find the BMI, you're going to take the inches, which is 67, and multiply it times itself. And then you're going to take the weight, which was 123, and divide it by 4,089, which equals 0.274. And then what you're going to do is multiply that times 703. And that equals 19.26, and that's the BMI. All right, so the first thing we need to do before this test is warm up. All right, so what we're going to do is 20 jumping jacks, nice and slow, just to get the body warm. All right, so it's going to look like this. All right, so go ahead and get 20 reps. Ready to go. All right, guys, now that we're all warmed up, what we're going to do is jump into this abdominal strength exercise. So we're going to have one of you guys on the ground performing the exercise, and the other one looking for any faults, and I'll explain those in a second. But let's go ahead and have one of you guys down on the ground. We have 2 tape marks, okay, that equal about 4.5 inches from the edge here. So what we're going to do is have her start with her fingers on the tape mark, and when I say go, she's going to lift her body up, reach her fingers forward and touch the mark, and then lay herself back down. All right, so let's get the clock started. So what I'm going to do is have my timer going, and every 3 seconds I'm going to say up, and we're going to keep her on a 3-second count until she either can't go anymore or she reaches the top limit, which is 75 reps. All right, so on my count we're going to go ahead and start. All right, so the things you want to focus on is getting your, reach all the way forward as best you can while keeping your feet on the ground and your knees up just like you are, all right? And then you have to reach all the way back down, touch your shoulders and your head to the ground every single rep. All right, ready, and go. Down, and up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And we'll repeat this process all the way until she can't go anymore. The next one, what we're going to do is the trunk raise. So we're gonna have the student lay on the ground just like this with her hands under her thighs. And the goal is to lift your upper body up off the ground as high as you can. And I'm gonna measure it with this ruler, all right? So you get 2 attempts to go as high as you can. And as she lifts, I'll tell her to hold it while I measure it, and then we'll go ahead and repeat that one more time. All right? You ready?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and lift. And down. All right, second attempt. Ready, go. Good job, and down. So she's about 12 inches, which is perfect. That's where we want all of our students to be. So that's the trunk lift. So the next test, what we're gonna do is the sit and reach. So we have the ruler set here at about 9 inches from this box. And what she's gonna do is set up with one foot against the box, the other one in a bent position. You wanna make sure the straight leg is straight the whole time. And then she's gonna go ahead and put one hand on top of the other and straighten her arms out as far as she can. And then basically what she's gonna do is lean forward, keeping her leg straight and her foot on the ground, and get as far as she can. And I'm gonna see how, on the measuring, the ruler, how far she goes, all right? So go ahead and start. Good, hold, and okay. And same thing as the last one, you get 2 attempts, so when you're ready, you can go one more time. Good, awesome. And then we'll repeat that same thing on the second foot, going through the same steps. Good. All right, and I would mark her distance for her score. For this last test, what we're gonna do is the upper body test. So the athlete's gonna be on the ground with her hands on the ground about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider. And basically just like the one of the previous tests, I'm gonna have my phone, and every 3 seconds I'm gonna tell her to go down, and we're gonna keep her on a 3-second count, basically until she gets to her max effort push-ups. So we wanna be looking for a 90-degree angle, getting down to our elbows at a 90-degree, and then all the way up to locked out position. All right, so what we're gonna do, go ahead and start, and when you're ready, let me know, and I'll tell you when. All right, here we go. Ready, and go. Down. Good. Ready, go. Up. Go. Up. Go. Up. Go. Up. Good. And we repeat that process. The athlete's trying to keep the back nice and flat, nice neutral spine as we're going through the movement, and working to get down to that 90 degree, like I said.